It's a very interesting one because, as usual, most of the fingerings that we see try to be consistent, but the intervals are not consistent. So there's no reason for us to be consistent when the size of the intervals is not consistent. What we have to be consistent with is to always be comfortable and not stretch and make it easy for the hands to move. So here there's 2-1, 5-2-1, and that's easy. But then it says, at least in my edition, again 5-2. For me, that 5-2 is a stretch. So I'm not going to do 5-2. I'm going to do 1-1. It's very easy to go, from 1 to 1. It's a double rotation. It's very close. And then, if this is not a stretch and it's not for me, I would do 5-2 here. Whenever I can, I will do 5-2. It is the easiest, and we don't have to repeat the fingers. So we can be very logical about it. When it's possible, we do it. When it's not possible, we do something that doesn't stretch the hand. So I do 1-1. Here I do 2-1, always meaning the top is 5. Here I do 2-1. Here I do 1-1. And then 5-2, 5-2, but here 1-1. 5-2, 5-2 to 1, 1-1, 5-2 to 1. This is one aspect of it. So one of the most important things to keep in mind is not to do stretchy things. Now, people stretch sometimes in places that really shouldn't be that difficult, again, because they're just in a stretched position to begin with. So there is a way, as you may know by now, to open, for the hand to be open to its maximum, to get the forearm behind, to get the right height, and then the hand can open to its maximum without stretching. Beyond that, we have to come up with other solutions. So the other thing that is very, very important here is the dotted eighth note, the dotted eighth note. Because this one we tend to sit. And this one, first of all, the mood is it's vivace and it's scherzando. So it doesn't have to be legato. Scherzando is not going to sound legato, but that second note of that slur is your lifeline to getting around. And if you close on it, good luck. You're not going to get around. And you're going to get very tired because the arm begin to move you around. And that's not a good place to be. When you start moving yourself, you're going to get tired. When you get tired, it slows you down. So again, everything that I'm discussing is what's underneath a speedy technique. What are the elements? It's a little bit exaggerated, a little bit big at the beginning, but what are the elements that are there? And this is, again, going to the first question, why this shape and not that shape? Because this is the quickest and the least amount of movement to get around. So this is staccato, and I express the second note. It can be softer, but it has to be active enough to send me to here. And it's also, there's something else. I'm out here, but here the thumb is playing on a black key. I have to be inside and not twisted. If your fifth finger is here, you're twisted. So you always have twisting is a thing that should not be in a technique or in anything else that you do in life, because it's going to cause pain. So the thumb gets me in, I'm inside, the thumb gets me out, because if I'm going to use the 2-5, if you use the 1-5, you stay in. So everything has to do with what is the choreography of what you're doing, of the piece, the passage, whatever it is that you're doing. So in my case, I move out. Now the thumb is a short finger. So even when we move out, but at the moment of playing, there is a forward feeling. We are forward, we don't fall out. So now I'm out here, I stay out, but again, the thumb is going to go in to get me very close to the black key, the thumb on the black key. Now, why do it and not stay here and then go in? You'll see that when you move at the wrong time, it's going to feel like a big movement and it's going to get tired. Large movements tire us. So when we say large movements for the piano, the piano, even the large movements are small movements, but they are larger than what they should be. So I'm moving in, again coming a little bit out, playing forward, staying out, again going in, coming out, going in, staying in, coming a little bit out. So there's a lot of in and out. So when we talk about rotation, that's the beginning. Because without that little in and out, it feels very easy and very light to get around when we do those movements at the right time. When we do them at the wrong time, something doesn't feel quite right. If you go to measure 45, I wanted the Pio Lento. The middle section, it's something that comes up a lot. This one. You can, first of all, you can take the first one, the melody you can take in the left hand. But let's say if we do it in the right hand. If we stay here, we can never get to the thumb. So there's a little bit of a single rotation. Now the rules don't change. When I get to an interval, the balance is still to the left. It starts as a small single rotation, plays to the left, and then goes to the right, left, left, right. And if there's a question about this, have to clarify it, because there's some very interesting rotations here, not only going from here to here, but also from here to here. The melody is like this, and here is the shape, but rotationally, something else happens. Now, why is it important? Because people complain that something doesn't feel quite right. This is how we come up with all those answers, because some people will come and say, you know, everything feels really good, but here I don't feel balanced, I don't feel so secure, and it could be the wrong rotation, it could be the wrong in and out, it can be a little bit of the wrong shaping, but this is how we get a little bit off. So we really, the group in the hand that is closest is this. Send us across, the rotation sends the forearm across, so you're right here. And with the shaping, gets a little bit higher. This is all over shapes to here with the lateral movement. Here is a little under, turns us back. Here is the repeated note again. So the rotation sends the forearm here, and I'm a little bit, notice that when I'm going from the single note to the intervals, I'm a little bit higher. The thumb is a shorter finger. The interval, if you take it by itself, you'll see that it feels connected and balanced when it's a little bit higher. And then it comes a little bit down to the thumb, not much, not like this. It's all very, very small movements. So this is getting a little bit higher, a little bit over, a little bit out, a little bit higher. And with a shape, everything begins to be smooth. And here is a big in. So very, very important. And I always put it as what exactly is going on. How do we interpret what we see? The notes that we see on the page, there is musical interpretation, but there is a physical interpretation first. How do we go from here to here? How do we make it comfortable? How do we make it secure? How do we get to the right place so we can get sound and not get there at the last moment and have no control over sound? So all those things really combine together. It's not, they all connect into ease of motion, also ease of being where you have to be to get the right sound that, that you want to express. So that's what this one is, the grouping, we get off, 3 note groups, starting always physically here on the interval. At the same time, interestingly, I did a whole tape on rhythm. The rhythm is not here. This is not the rhythm. The rhythm is here. It's a little bit, you have to express the beat, and you get a little bit of a sense of syncopation, a little yam-ta-da, yam-pa-da, yam-pa-da. I call it a Chopin type of jazz. So, he puts the interval a little bit on the offbeat, the thicker, the thicker interval, and then goes to the single note. He could have put it on the downbeat. It would have been a different piece, not as interesting. So he's doing and it so happens that the interval plays a little bit forward which also helps it sound a little bit yampa, yampa, yampa. So this is a little bit of what I wanted to show you here. The next one, also one that we